So I bet you think that you have to choose between ski town energy and quiet mountain living. Well, today we are going to talk about one of my favorite subdivisions and actually a place that I call home, and that is Crested Butte South, or CB South as we call it, and you get to have both. CB South is 5 minutes from downtown Crested Butte. It's steps away from fishing along Cement Creek on the East River. You have hiking trails like the Caves Trail that are 5 minutes from pretty much any spot in CB South. You're gonna have starter condos, you're gonna have modern mountain builds, you're gonna have vacant land, and you're gonna have commercial opportunities. So today we're gonna dive in and take a closer look about what makes CB South so special. We're gonna explore the neighborhood, highlight what kind of homes and properties that you can expect, and I'll share a few of my local spots, whether that's trails, fishing spots, or places to grab a bite to eat or a cup of coffee. So you can get a real life feel of what life is like here before you make the move. Welcome to living in Crested Butte, Colorado. I'm Heather Woodward. I'm a local realtor, 20-year resident, and I am going to break down all the neighborhoods, the price points, and lifestyle hacks of everywhere in the Gunnison Valley so that your move here is stress-free. So if you are looking for everything Crested Butte, Gunnison Valley, the ins and the outs, and everywhere in between, you have come to the right channel. Hit that subscribe button and be the first to know about any changes to the area. And I get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day. So whether you're looking to make a move here in 6 days from now, 6 months from now, you're moving across town, across country, or across the world, I'm here to make your move exactly the way you want it to be. All of my contact information is down below, so reach out anytime. If this is your first time about hearing about Crested Butte South, or maybe it's just an area that you are less familiar with, Crested Butte South is located along 135 here, Highway 135. Highway 135 runs north and south depending on the direction. So north to Crested Butte, downtown Crested Butte, and then eventually on to Mount Crested Butte, and then south to Gunnison. So if you are driving into our area and you've arrived, most typically your route is going to be along this Highway 50 corridor, either coming from the east or coming from the west. You will turn, make a left or a right-hand turn depending on the direction you are coming onto Highway 135. 135 will take you right through downtown Gunnison. As you leave Gunnison, you'll pass through Almont, and then you're going to come around this corner, and the whole valley opens up. And on the right-hand side of that, right after you come around that corner, is going to be the turn into Crested Butte South. It is one of the largest, if not the largest, subdivision in all of Gunnison County. It is not a town per se. The actual zip code is still the same as downtown Crested Butte of 81224. It is technically unincorporated Gunnison County, but it does operate with its own set of covenants, rules, and restrictions. There is a POA, Property Owners Association, and you pay dues within the subdivision. So I think in the future, it will become its own town. There's been talks of that for years and as long as I've lived in the valley. But I think, as we inch along, things are, and especially as the community continues to grow, I think that will eventually come to fruition. All right, so the turn here is right off of 135, like I said, and you're going to have most likely a right-hand turn on to the Cement Creek Road. So the Cement Creek Road is this one road that eventually takes you all the way into the backcountry, up the Cement Creek area. You probably, if you've listened to any of my other videos, there's some great hiking to be had this way, and we'll get into that here shortly. So you turn here from 135 onto Cement Creek Road. You're going to cross the East River here. And I do want to go ahead and point out that there is a fishing access point. There's another one located within the subdivision, but there is a fishing access point right along here where there's a little bit of parking and some parking off of the Cement Creek Road area. And you can walk down and you can fish this portion of the river here, which is really lovely and very nice. In the summertime, it has to be the right conditions, but you can put in and float this section of the river, and that will you can eventually get out down in Almont, or it would be a really long way, but you can also go all the way down to Gunnison, and that's a great float as well. So as you come down Cement Creek Road, this is the formal entrance here into the subdivision. It is Teocalli Road. So let me zoom out just a little bit and show you how large CB South is. So primarily CB South is this highlighted, it kind of looks like a white arrow here. There is a subdivision above this. We won't get too much into today, but there are two actually subdivisions above this, one in this upper area that they do access, and this area over here that faces towards the north, the Lower Highlands subdivision. So you do access those subdivisions from CB South. Okay, so if you have listened to my other videos, I talk a lot about the flats of CB South and then the hillside of CB South. So the flats are going to be this area that kind of encompasses almost to Gorin Street, and then so Gorin, and you kind of come around. Brackenberry is a little bit on a hill, but I would include Brackenberry. So you all the way around here, Haverly, and then back around to this side of CB South, Cascadilla, Kubler, Escalante, and Chavano. So that is more of the flat area. In the flats is sometimes what we'll say. Everything else is up on the hillside. So you kind of have the mid-hillside properties like Bryant, Seligman, Blackstock, and then the upper areas a little bit higher up on Bryant, Gloria, Anderson, and then you have this Prophet as well. That's going to be the highest point in the CB South subdivision, is off of this road as well. So you would hang a right on Neville, go all the way around, and then Prophet. So that's going to encompass the top portion of CB South. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the lay of the land. So let's talk about amenities in Crested Butte South. So it does have its own commercial core district, which is going to be this area here. It's going to be Haverly, a little bit of Teocalli in this area. So you see you have Crested Butte Dental, which is a newer dental dentistry there in CB South. You also have Tully's and the general store next to Tully's. There's also Zuni's, which is a new brewery, and it sits right across from Tully's. There's a gym down here on this side. There's the Alpengardener, which is, they do some snow removal in the wintertime, but they're primarily a garden store. It's where you'll buy all your hanging baskets, your flowers. They do some landscaping, have some, that division of the company as well. So if you have some landscaping needs or trees or whatever, so that's down here as well. And off of this commercial core. Next door to the Alpengardener is Camphor Coffee. It is their primary spot. They do have a couple of other locations within the valley, most notable the one that's in downtown Crested Butte, but there's also this one here in the CB South area, which is really great to come to. They have some chairs set out there, especially in the summertime. It's really nice to grab a coffee, pastry, and just sit out here and enjoy the sun, talk to your neighbors. On this side over here, there's a liquor store. There's some storage units, and then there's also Little Red Schoolhouse, which is a pre-K schoolhouse from infant to pre-K. Our son went there. It's excellent. It's nice to have in the community. So there is talk about, and I know that there's plans down there, but this is going to be built up more and more in the future. Right now there's a veterinarian clinic that's being built and a bank that's also being built down in this commercial core. So as the years have gone by, I've lived in this subdivision, I'll say, since 2005, and it has really grown exponentially, especially in the last 10 years. So I do think that eventually it will become its own town. But for now, it's growing and growing, and it's a really exciting thing and a great amenity for the subdivision. So let's talk about other amenities, outdoor amenities. So I pointed out the fishing access here off of Cement Creek Road. And then if you continue up Cement Creek Road, which is County Road 740, by the way, you do eventually hit National Forest. And I talk a lot about the Caves Trail. It's kind of the backyard local trail for the Crested Butte South subdivision. There's parking here along County Road 740, and then you just cross the street and hop on the trail and hike up. It's great. It does eventually, you can wrap around to the Walrod Trail. There's also some trails over here above the Pioneer Guest Cabin. There's the lower Cement Creek Trail. So, and here's Walrod Gulch coming in here that I talked about just a minute ago. There's some campgrounds, at the end of CB South of the Cement Creek Road here. And there's people that camp along there, and then there's some dispersed camping along the left side here. Pioneer Guest Cabins is another great option. Maybe if you are coming to visit and you don't have a camper or don't want to camp outside, you can book one of the Pioneer Guest Cabins. In the wintertime, well, let me back up. So in the summertime, there's a lot of hiking up here. There's dirt biking, a lot of dirt biking that's happening, that people kind of go up here and continue on 740, because that'll wrap around to a plethora of other trails. There's also a mountain biking, again, same, user trails as well. In the wintertime, they do groom, someone privately grooms from the Cement Creek campground all the way up to I'm not sure exactly how far they go up, but it's quite a ways. So you can Nordic ski that, and then you can also, snowshoe it. So I'll snowshoe that a lot of times in the wintertime with a friend. If I can't go on a hike, or if I'm not hiking up to the caves, we'll, depending on the conditions, we'll mainly just stay on the road here. So it's a great workout. There's some switchbacks here that you kind of see that comes in and kind of climbs up just a little bit, but it's great. It's beautiful. It's nice to get away, and especially if you are considering moving to this subdivision, it's nice to be able to have that to where you don't have to drive that far or go into town or Mount Crested Butte or even Gunnison. You can just, it's your backyard trail. All right, so backing up just a little bit, another amenity that is a really awesome amenity that the subdivision has an agreement with, this neighboring ranch. So there is a ranch that stretches from about here. Chavano Street is on this outer edge of CB South, and there's some parking here on the corner of Chavano and Teocalli. So you can park right there and it's a groomed trail for Nordic or skiing only. No dogs or pets allowed on this. It's part of the agreement with the ranch, but it is nice to be able to have this great amenity here. Again, just right out your door. And it is only for winter access. It's not accessible in the summertime. In the summertime and in the fall, depending on, what's going on, there will be a number of cattle out here grazing this grassland. So that's another great amenity. Another thing here that is popping up on the screen, you could probably just saw it if I zoomed out again, are the CB South tennis courts. So this is great to have in the summertime, and I think it's also painted for pickleball as well. The fire station, the Crested Butte has a fire station over here, which is great for a reduction in insurance prices to have the fire station so close. Behind the fire station is a hockey rink. And then just to the north of that is a skating pond. So about this time of year, this is December 11th, 2025, they're just getting that hockey rink ready. So it depends on Mother Nature, it depends on how warm or cool conditions are. So they are trying to get that hockey rink open. It's usually open, or they try and have it open by the winter break for school. So winter breaks, 5 to 7 days before Christmas. So they really try and have that hockey rink open, and sometimes the skating pond as well for the winter break. And then it stays open through the winter, and then it closes depending on conditions in the spring. So that's a really great amenity as well. In the summertime, there's a nice little kids kind of pump track around the pond area. And that's a really cool thing. So if you have little ones that are, on a bike and you guys are out on a bike ride, you can just kind of, bike around the subdivision and then hit the pump track over here. And it's really awesome. Another thing that you probably hear me talk a lot about is the RTA. So the RTA does have a bus stop, and it's just on the outer edge of where the fire station is. So it has its own little designated area. There's a limited amount of parking. I don't know exactly how many parking spaces exactly, but there is parking there. So if you live in the upper stretches of CB South and you want to take the bus up to the mountain to go skiing, for example, just drive your car down, park over there, grab the RTA bus, and then off you go. And then when you come back, your car's waiting for you right there, and then you go home, and then you didn't have to contend with parking in downtown Crested Butte or up on the mountain. So that's a really another great amenity as well. All right, so next question is, what does my money get me in CB South? So if you were looking to build a house, there's some land opportunities for you. So there's some vacant parcels, and most of those parcels are going to run about a third of an acre, 0.33 or 0.30, something in that variation, to a half acre. There are some bigger parcels from time to time, up to an acre of maybe that particular person purchased way back in the day and clustered those lots together. But I would say that's more of an anomaly than the norm. So most of the lots are going to be a third of an acre. And they're going to be, I would say, majority of the flats area is pretty built out. There's an exception of, some lots here and there that do, turn over or come on the market. If they're not riverside lots, which, there are a couple of those, there's some interior lots in the flats. Those sometimes come on the market. Right now, there's not a ton of inventory for that, given the time of year and just, the time period we're at, that we just have not seen a ton of inventory come on the market here in CB South. And that's the same for condos, townhomes, and standalone homes. So there's definitely some opportunities to be had. Let's zoom in and take a look at a couple. We'll talk about them. So coming into the subdivision, you have Cement Creek Road, which we talked about, and then the main entrance is Teocalli. So right here, there's some newer townhomes that were built a couple years ago. They're going to give you a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $839. It's about 1,500 square feet. You're going to have a 1-car garage. These two particular units are side by side, so you can have your pick. They're both priced the same and are sold fully furnished. So that's, really nice to have. Currently, they're being used as a short-term rental, which you can do short-term rentals in Crested Butte South at the moment. There's no restrictions on that per se. There's some rules and regulations. We'd have to check the covenants there that I could send you and some steps to take. But for the most part, you can short-term rent in CV South at the moment. So this one is, you have the living area upstairs on the top floor. On the bottom level, the entry level, are the 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and the garage area. There's also some laundry. And then as you come upstairs, you come to the living room, kitchen, dining. You do have a deck that faces the Teocalli Road there. That's what you can kind of see through the windows. And then off of the living room area, kitchen area, there's another private hallway to the primary bedroom with its own, it's kind of this own suite there. It's really nice to have with its own balcony. Close the door off, and then going back towards the living room kitchen area, there's a half bath as well for your guests. So plenty of parking here, which is really a nice amenity. So there are 2 of these, unit 2 and 3, that are on the market currently, and those are right here located kind of close to the entrance. So it's a great proximity, for walking to the commercial core area, the RTA. You can kind of see the little bus right here that's showing that's where the RTA bus stop is. All right, so if we come through here, there's also going to be some mix of some commercial opportunities as well. So I wanted you to be able to see everything that's on the market currently within the subdivision. So this is the first commercial opportunity. This is this downstairs. Currently, that's the liquor store. And then upstairs, they have a private apartment. So that's, nice to be able to live and work in the same space, or use it as an investment property and rent the upstairs. So, this is the community liquor store. So there's lots of, space and storage down here. And then it's nice and private. This is the entrance, the private entrance off of the commercial. You kind of come on, it's the back area, and then the encompasses the top floor. So it's really nice, big, bright, airy space. So that's currently on the market for $1.6 million. So it might need a little bit of updating here and there, bathroom countertops. But for the most part, it's a nice space. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment on that top floor. The whole entire building is about 2,600. So this space down below the commercial space is going to be a portion of that, with the majority of the square footage here on the top floor. Next to the liquor store, and then you can just kind of see little Red Schoolhouse here that I talked about earlier, is a storage unit opportunity. It's on the market for $649. So you do have 12 storage buildings. In the listing description, they do kind of go into detail about their vacancy. They have 0 vacancy. In all the years I've lived here, I don't recall this building ever being vacant. It's in just a prime location, especially if you live in the subdivision and have that storage there. It's really a great amenity. Another commercial opportunity is the general store. So it is on the market for $1.4 million. So it's this bottom level general store. It's gas station. It's the whole ground level. So it's the general store Wooden Spoon. There is a kitchen in there. You can come and have some grab and go stuff. There's a little dining area as well. It's really a great amenity for the subdivision to be able to have that. So that's part of the commercial kitchen there. Especially, if you want to call in an order, run down here and pick it up. We do that frequently because I live in this subdivision. So, it's nice to have. So I hope that this, when it does sell, someone will continue that. This gives a good bird's eye view of the subdivision and the commercial part of the commercial core area. This is the fire station here, tennis courts, hockey rink, and then there's some ball fields, whatever that we talked about earlier. But back to this listing. So this is, a great, could be a great opportunity for someone that wants to run a business here and maybe live in the subdivision. All right. So this is a waterfront lot here, 135 Cascadilla. It doesn't have, well, actually it does right here. So yeah, it's a third of an acre. So it's kind of back to what I was saying earlier about, they're all about a third of an acre. So it's on the market for $495. Beautiful lot, great views. You can see, you're in the flats, so you can walk, to all the amenities here. And so this is the East River here. And so the part of this you can fish. So your views are going to be mainly south here. You'll have some west. This faces west on this direction, and then east on the other, the opposite side. So this is south, west, and then east. So you'll have some great sunset views from this property, and just a really, really nice property. Across the street and next door, there are some multifamily. This is a duplex. There's a duplex over here across the street, but primarily along the street are standalone homes, single family homes. All right, going up the hillside a little bit, we're kind of getting into more land opportunities. So this one's on Cisneros. Great lot up here. This one is, let's see if they have, it's probably about a third of an acre. Yep, 0.33 of an acre, listed at $295. So you'll have some nice views. And some of these upper levels of these roads on this side do have, in the interior here, they do have some open space. So you do get the benefit of, having your lot and then having nothing being built between you and the road below. So there's a pretty big buffer here. So I don't think that that's much of a threat for this particular property, but it is nice to have. And it's something that I want to point out if you are looking for a lot in CB South to build. So yeah, you can kind of see a lot of these houses up here have this basement walkout, kind of pull in here to your garage driveway, and then build your house out this way, and then have this nice deck and then basement walkout on the bottom level to maximize space and then also maximize views. So not a bad view anywhere up here or anywhere in CB South for that matter. Another lot on Cisneros Lane. This is going to be on the opposite side of the road. So this one is going to have a little bit of a different perspective here, where it's a little bit of a more sloped on the uphill side. And I see a lot of people kind of build, you'll come in here to your driveway garage, and then back here, they'll kind of make that an outdoor extension of their kitchen, more private, more kind of in the trees. You'll have less views on this side, but if you're looking for something more private and a little bit more trees versus the other lot that we just looked at where it's a little bit more exposed on that side, this will have more morning views. or morning sunlight, I should say. And so that's just kind of an option. So when I'm out here showing property to people, that is something that I like to point out, like, how do you live your day? More like morning coffee in the sun, or you are afternoon, evening sunsets with a glass of wine. So that kind of helps me help you find that perfect property for you as well. So again, great views. Won't be any bad views up here. So right now, the highest lot up are these ones here on Anderson. Sometimes we do see on that top, the very, very top road up here, which would be Neville and Prophet. On occasion, there's lots that come on the market up here. So that's this kind of in the distance here. That's Neville Way. You can't see Prophet, but that's the very, very top road in CB South. This one is on Anderson, so this is going to be the second highest to the top. There's a couple up here on the market. So this one in particular, 462 Anderson Drive for $319, third of an acre, 0.33. Again, this is similar to the first one that we looked at on Cisneros, not quite as sloped, a little bit flatter here, but you do have this kind of this drainage gulch that comes in, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Great lot, great views, nice southern exposure, passive solar gain that you're going to get on this particular lot. And then, kind of that basement walkout deck on that top level. And then you have your basement walkout down below. Could probably be achieved with this particular lot. Another opportunity up here for $195, and again it's 0.33 of an acre. This one does also back up to some open space, which I mentioned earlier, and that's nice to have here. This one has a little bit more trees. The time of year that these photos were taken looks to be like early summer. So that's why you're just starting to see some green on the trees here, but those usually kind of fill in. All right, so as a whole right now, we don't have a ton of inventory on the market in CB South. Up until, I would say, yesterday, we had one standalone home on the market for around $1.5 million, and they came off the market this morning. So I imagine that we'll start to see more properties come on the market in the spring and in the summer. Summer is historically our biggest selling season. So maybe I'll update you guys on the inventory here in CB South. So stay tuned for that later on in the year. But for now, that's what we have, and that gives you a good bird's eye view of the subdivision in CB South. So all in all, CB South offers a mix of mountain charm, friendly amenities, and easy access to downtown Crested Butte, Mount Crested Butte, and even Gunnison. So I hope this video gave you a great sense of what life would be like in CB South, especially if you are considering making a move here. Hit that subscribe button below to be the first to know about all the updates in the Valley. And like I mentioned before, I get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day. So if you are thinking about making a move, all of my contact information is in the description below. And whether you are moving here in 6 days from now, 6 months from now, or even further out, I'm here to make your move everything you want it to be. I look forward to showing you around CB South and all the incredible amenities that it has to offer. Until next time. Okay, so it looks like you're making a move to Crested Butte or Gunnison, Colorado, and you're trying to decide which video to watch. You could watch this one, or you could watch this one, or you could watch both, because they're both really going to help you out, and they're both really good. But go ahead, just pick one.